Hi, Math 3 students. So this is your 3.9 Ed puzzle. One thing I want to point out, I am starting out on page 61. So make sure you go ahead, turn to page 61. I'm skipping that first part there. So what we're doing here is we're describing something called end behavior. So end behavior essentially tells you what the function does as x goes to infinity or x goes to negative infinity. So what it says is determine the function type. If it's a polynomial, state the degree, the degree of the polynomial, and whether it's an even or odd polynomial. And then describe the end behavior and use the format as x approaches negative infinity, f of x goes to something. And as x goes to positive infinity, f of x goes to blank. So we're going to go ahead and fill this out. So the first one here, we have 3 plus 2x. So this is a linear function. And as we learned in this chapter, in this module, linear functions are polynomials. So this is a polynomial. And this is a degree 1. So you would say maybe like degree 1. And that would be odd, right? So 1 is odd, so it is an odd degree. Sorry, that is my ice maker in the back. So it says end behavior as x goes to negative infinity, f of x goes to what? So let's look. If I zoom out, right, we can see as x goes to negative infinity. So that'd be, going negative 10, negative 20, negative 30. As we're going more negative, what's happening to the function? Well, the function's going more negative, right? So like if we look here, right, it's going down. What's happening as we go down? The function's going down. As the x values go down, the y values go down. So you could say as x goes to negative infinity, y goes to negative infinity. All right. Now what happens as x goes to positive infinity? Well, let's look. As x goes to positive infinity, y goes to positive infinity. All right. Now let's go ahead and check this next one. We got x to the 4th minus 16. So that is this function here. All right. So let's see what happens. It almost kind of looks like a parabola there, but it is x to the 4th. So first off is a polynomial, right? It's degree 4. And that's even, right? 4 is even. So what happens as x goes to negative infinity? Well, as x goes to negative infinity, as x goes down, 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 what happens? Well, y gets larger, right? As x goes down, y goes up. So the function actually approaches positive infinity, right? As you go in that direction, the function goes up. And then what happens as x approaches infinity, positive infinity? Well, y also goes up, right? So the end behavior on both ends would be positive infinity. All right, so for 3 to the power of x, that's this guy here. All right, so the function type here is exponential. Oops. We don't have to mention the degree here because it's not a polynomial. So what happens as x goes to negative infinity? Well, let's see what happens as x goes to negative infinity. Ooh. Right? It goes to 0. Now, it does say 0, but the actual function itself doesn't actually go. It should never actually equal 0. Let's see. I zoomed in too much. So basically what happens here, though, is if you remember us talking about asymptotes, you have an asymptote here at 0. So as you go to negative infinity, that function gets closer and closer to 0, so the function approaches 0. And then what happens as you go to positive infinity? Well, as x grows, y grows, right? So it's going to go to positive infinity. All right. Let's try x to the power of 3 plus 2x minus x plus 5. Let's plot that guy. Kind of a cool looking function here. So if we look at this, it says, first off, what is this? This is going to be a polynomial. It's degree 3. And of course it's odd, right? 3 is odd. So what happens as x goes to negative infinity? Well, as x goes to negative infinity, it does go up a little bit, but then, watch, right? As we approach infinity, holy smokes, we go down, right? So as x goes to negative infinity, the function goes to negative infinity. It goes down. As x goes to positive infinity, what happens here? Well, we go up. We go to positive infinity. All right, next guy. We got negative 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus x plus 5. So function type here, polynomial again, right? This is going to be degree 3 again. And this is again odd. All right. Now what happens as x approaches negative infinity? Well, as x approaches negative infinity, the function actually approaches positive infinity, right? As x goes negative, the function goes positive. So this is going to be positive infinity. And then what happens as x approaches positive infinity? Well, the function goes down, so it approaches negative infinity. All right, and I forgot to plot this one. So we got log base 2 of x. Let's see if I can do it. We got to do log. How lovely. My notability's right where I need to type. log. And then base 2 of x. There we go. All right, so we got our last one plotted here. So what happens here? So as x approaches negative infinity, well, guess what here? X actually can approach negative infinity. I guess we should say first off that we have a logarithmic, right? We have a log function here. When we're looking at this graph, what happens as x approaches negative infinity? Well, it can't. So you could say that the function does not exist, right? It's not even in the domain of the function. And as x approaches positive infinity, the function is going to continue to grow. As x approaches positive infinity, the function is going to also approach positive infinity because it's going to just keep getting larger and growing. All right. So next for 7, all right, it says use the graphs below to describe the end behavior of each function. So you've just watched me describe all the end behaviors here. So let's go ahead and look at number 7. What is the end behavior as x approaches negative infinity? So as x approaches negative infinity, which means as x goes that way, what happens to the function? Does the function go up and approach positive infinity, or does it go down and approach negative infinity? So as x goes down, the function is going to approach negative infinity. Then as x goes up, what happens, right? If we go in this direction, when x goes up, the function itself is going to approach positive infinity. All right, here for number 8. I guess I can make this big again if it lets me. No, it won't let me. There we go. For number 8, as x approaches negative infinity, which means as x's go this way, what happens to the function? Does the function go up or does the function go down? Positive infinity or negative infinity? Well, as it approaches negative infinity, the function approaches negative infinity as well. What happens as the x values go to positive infinity? Well, the function goes down.